Hello everyone, Charles Moon with Prosper Trading Academy. I am the lead instructor for the Penny and Cannabis Room. Now before we start, I do want to disclose stock and stock option trading involves a substantial degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Past performances is not necessarily indicative of future results. Our general counsel just got paid. Now on to the good stuff. Two names to keep on your radar today. SLS. SLS actually made some pretty big moves yesterday on news of a phase 2 trial drug. And of course, it's for breast cancer, which always will bring a lot of money to the table. Ask Juno, Juno, which actually got bought out by Celgene, I do believe. But you could see it kind of raced from that $8 mark to that $11 mark fairly quickly. This all took place within less than an hour's worth of work. And a lot of this was done on high level of volume. So it is something to be aware that this stock was actively pursued and traded on the buy side in the short term. This also happened a bit yesterday, although yesterday we saw way more risk off. Initially, once we had that move, we're starting to see something very similar. Yesterday, it made that run from around $5.50 to $10. So you can see that was a risk-off move with the late day rally for about a handle. I'm expecting more of the same. You can see there's a risk-off move, and this is where it's at. So I'm actually looking for a late day pump, and really the longer-term upside is somewhere between $11 and $16. Analysts actually gave a price target of $11 here in the intermediate term. So there is some potential here for growth and for yield on an investment scale. However, I would never recommend this on an investment side. The news is great, but we never know how it trades. I am most notably looking for the short-term opportunities, especially early on. And if it's coupled with buy volume, I'm going to be getting in because it could provide some short-term yield very quickly. ALNA Pharmaceuticals made a move from 13 to 17.50. Now this is a little bit different. This is definitely a low float name. Very light outstanding shares. Some of these moves have been made on 1 minute bars that traded 4,000 or 5,000 shares. The bid offer spread is pretty wide. It could get as wide as over 30 cents. So it's something you're going to have to be very attentive of when you do trade this on a short-term light. You're going to be paying a bit of a premium. One quick trick around that is you're going to be very attentive of the stock name, and if we see that bid offer squeeze, meaning that spread goes from 30 cents to say 5 cents, that could be an early indication that a possible breakout could occur. You're just going to want to see some liquidity come in, both resting in the books and actively being traded. But when we see the sentiment get one-sided, like we saw today in ALNA, I mean, it can make a very quick move. I mean, the low of the day was 12.58. The high of the day is 17.56. That's pretty substantial in terms of a trading range for a low-price name. So these are two names that you're going to want to keep on your radar in the short term. I really like the long-term potential in SLS. However, anything can happen, especially once they approach that phase 3 trial. And if any negative news comes out, this is a stock that we could really see dump from that price point. Just like it could double one day, it could lose the exact same amount. So something to be very careful of. Again, more short term for me. Last but not least is LFIN. LFIN was I mean, this was a stock on IPO. It's tied to cryptocurrency or blockchain, but it basically went from $4 to $100+ the following day. So, come on. And they just recently got booted out of the Russell 2000. So they've basically gone from $40, $30 to the $10 mark. I don't want to say it's a pump and dump, but it's clearly in that light. Are there short-term opportunities? Yes. Anytime volume builds up and you could see it, the stock is going to move. Today we saw that it was resting near that $9.50 mark and very quickly ran up to over $14. It was actually halted at one point. It got halted around 9:22 this morning Central Time. Came off halt 5 minutes after and just immediately jumped, and then it was all risk off, and it's been fairly dead. And this is the thing, we could see some more risk-off trading in LFIN as people are still holding from a very high price point and are looking to tier out. But in the same light, the shorts that are squeezing the stock price down will eventually look to take profits. When we see that buy-side volume come in with the short squeeze, it's going to lead to some very quick and very nice opportunities to the upside. So to recap, LFIN, that will be one name to look for the pump and dump move or the short covering rally. ALNA, as long as it's euphoric buying, we could see some very strong and aggressive moves. And SLS is moving on positive news. This has been 2 straight days where immense volume did pump in early. Of course, just like any other penny name, it just dies out after 10:30 Central Time. So that's it. The first 2 trading hours of the session, you should be looking at these 3 names for the rest of the week and see if anything is provided. If you're in the trading room, you know we'll be definitely looking at it for short-term opportunities. And if we get it in correctly, they're going to provide some very fruitful yield. Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. This is Charles Moon. Don't forget, make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed already. Feel free to check us out at prospertrading.com. You can follow me at Twitter at CMoonTrader. You could also follow our Twitter handles at Prosper Trading on Twitter also. And make sure you click on the notifications alerts so you can get notified every time we go either live on Facebook or we drop one of these videos off for you to kind of give you a look-see. You'll be able to kind of jump in on these a little bit quicker than finding these names maybe a day or 2 later on your news feed. Thanks for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.